Hey, we are live. Welcome, Kim Barber.
Hello, David Harbour.
Hey, we're tuning in here live on YouTube this afternoon, guys, and we have a wonderful exclusive guest, Kim Barber with the Kim Barber Group. Recently joined eXp Realty. Kim is one of the top agents in Northern Virginia. Her team does 30 plus million, and they do it very efficiently using technology and processes. So we're going to talk some real estate today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, I like your office.
Thank you.
Look at all those.
To disassemble this one tomorrow and move into the third one.
Did you win an Academy Award? What is that behind you?
I did. Yeah, I got this in the mail. One of my friends got the mail for me when my arm was broken. He's like, "Let me open that for you." I'm like,
Nice.
"Live from the Grammys."
Very nice.
Yeah, this is the old brokerage.
Top producer.
Centurion team. Yeah, they send you this stuff, and makes you feel like you should walk across the Broadway stage or something. I don't know.
That's fantastic. Well, listen, we do these periodically, especially with our, I say icon agents, but our big team leaders. You're one of them, and people want to know, a little bit about how does somebody get to 30 million? How do you put the team together? And then we're going to kind of evolve into, where you are today and why you made the transition to eXp Realty. Does that sound good?
Sounds perfect.
Yeah.
I'm ready to do my best.
So you have a unique background. You're really tech savvy. I'm a closet technology nerd, and I think you are too. Tell me your background.
So my background. I always like to kind of label myself as an entrepreneur. Had my first company when I was 18, but I went into technology because it's what was starting, and I anyway, I ended up kind of through high school, took a break, and went into technology pretty much right as a senior in high school, and did very advanced projects that founded lots of internet technologies, as well as helped build a software company. And that last company that I helped build was an integration software tool that really runs a lot of the enterprise softwares of the world now, actually. So I have 15 years, and I have degrees in around that: decision science, how to use technology to build and run businesses.
Yeah, I mean, just being around you for the short time that I have, I could tell that you really harness the use of technology and streamlining your processes. You gauge everything, you monitor your marketing. And so it seems as though you take a lot of those concepts and principles that you learned there and applied it to real estate.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely do. And, and through the years, there's been a lot of evolving. When I first started out in real estate in 2004, I knew how to grow a business, but I needed to learn how to do sales and real estate. And quite frankly, the internet wasn't as dominant of a player as it's become now 14 years later, right? So as things evolved, I started paying attention to that and started to incorporate it into our solutions and our path, especially when I decided that how am I going to build a bigger team? How am I going to scale? That's around the same time for me that internet leads and these types of things became a lot more dominant in our market. Yeah.
I mean, real estate is still a relational business, but you can't ignore the fact that I think 9 out of 10 buyers and sellers go to the internet, they start their search, they cyber stalk agents. And so
that's right.
If you're really not, if that isn't part of your business model, I think you're being left behind.
Right, exactly. I mean, right now and then the years past, especially when I started tracking it more as I started to implement more things, the sphere of influence we all know is the people that we know, our networking. It is traditionally the gold mine, and if you don't have one, you'll create one. So then once you have it, though, how do you take it from 5% to 8% to 10%, 12, 15%, right? Then that's where technology and tools can come into play more, especially when competition is fierce and the average person at a certain age range typically will know more than one agent. So, you know, you have to kind of stay on the forefront of people, and using the tools of today's market allows us to do that. So, you know, like you can call people, you can, you know, have people over, you can have parties, but if I use technologies in more exponential ways, so combining traditional and technology, and the results have shown that that's been a very valuable investment.
So without getting into the weeds too much on the IT side, what do you think are some essential tools or practices that somebody who is doing business and wants to take it to the next level?
Okay. All right. Put me on the spot a little bit, but
well, I mean, you obviously have married systems
yes,
and with technology.
Right. So, I mean, you know, I would say that, you know, if you're a person who has a sphere, or if you're new to a whole market, the answer is going to be a little different. But let's go under a baseline assumption that you're new to the market, or you're somewhere in the, you know, 6 agents, 12 agent, or I mean 6 deals, 12 deals, and you want to really take it to the next level. You even adding 6 more deals a year to, you know, can add, you know, $60,000 to $90,000 to somebody's gross income, which is a lot of money. So I have, you know, my charts back here. I can get up and flip the charts over. Actually, let me do that. So I work. You can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in here, you know,
we can't see the chart, but we can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me. So I can bring this over, but you know, and you know me. I bring this over here because this is just what I keep in my office. You know, people would scan in, but with our sphere of influence, you know, there's some fundamental things that we can all do. We can do calls. You know, for us, this is our sphere of influence kind of plan. There's way more detail back in here, but if somebody wanted to take it to the next level, this could be an easy plan. You could do a couple events a year. We're going to do an educational and a fun charity event. As you know, we've got some community involvement that we can invite people to as well. You know, here at eXp, we're the #1 sponsor for these things we're doing. What we did was we incorporated video in what we're calling our CRM emails 2 times a month, right? So we could, like, how can you do that? There's different ways. We have some direct mail. So I'm a sports person. People yelled at me when I didn't send them my calendar or the Redskins schedule, because that's part of my personality. So those are parts in there, but then we have 4 direct mail pieces. We do a proof piece, we'll do a market update piece, and then we'll pick 2 other relevant things, maybe interest rates or whatever. Then we have our Zillow review incentive program, which allows us to put in place. We also have, which isn't on here, a market update using technology. So on our websites, with conversion, you know, we're loading up that site. So we have 2 sites now. It was really fun. I got an email this morning from them. I love conversion. I knew I love conversion. And that said, hey, Kim, your property. So I used the property that I have, one of my investment properties. And it said, hey, Kim, this is a default email that went out. Your current, you know, this month's property value says it's around this number. In this case, it was $306,000. And were you looking for this market report just to keep up to date, or are you thinking about refinance, or wanting to know about your equity? And this was just an automatic message. So we're having, for example, down here, you see this change colors because we just added this in. It says Q4. I'm going to have our team, or in this case, I have inside salespeople, to call our database and offer the market updates. And the goal is to become a local marketing expert. That's a simple example of how do I make my, maybe I have 100 people that I know, and I only got 5 deals from them next year, and I make a goal to do 10. This could be a plan that over time you can move that to 12, and then you can start adding more people so that your sphere increases. And that's what we've done, is we made a goal to increase our sphere of influence from a percentage that wasn't that great to a percentage that's much greater. So right now we have in May 2nd, we have more deals in our sphere, which we have 18 deals in our sphere of influence signed with us than we did last year. So we've started implementing this, and then the year before it was the same thing. So these are proven technologies that work, but you're just layering in things over time.
That is fantastic. And I know that is your marketing plan, but once you have them in your pipeline, I saw your CRM system. I mean,
Yeah,
I talk about detail, paying attention to details. Maybe you could
right.
just touch on that for a second.
Okay. Well, the things that I've learned over time is that it's all in the follow-up. So for me, and you can kind of coach me through this call if you want, David, on, okay, that's enough detail, because maybe I can get a little too much. But, basically the general idea is that you've probably seen these statistics, that it's all in the follow-up. And people hear that all the time. It's all in the follow-up. The one thing that I find is a pitfall for any CRM system that's out there, the follow-up systems, and some are sophisticated enough, they don't understand, like, it's all in the follow-up. So to have an automated system that has content that's relative to your language and your speak, yet relative to the market, is what will help you with the follow-up. So, it's hard if they say, well, it takes, 80% of the deals are done after the 8th call, right? Well, sometimes what am I going to say? What do I want to do? Well, you can layer that follow-up, and so the CRM system that I built takes all of the various lead sources, and it rolls out the follow-up on all of them. So I did that level of attention, whether it's Inspired, Fizgos, or just sticking with the Sphere example. But, and it goes through the whole life cycle. So when they first come in, there's an introduction message with a video. Hi, it's Kim. Did I ever share with you why I went into real estate? Embed that in there. It's neutral. It goes. Then, twice a month, we're sending a video out. And then, but you have an automated system that then they become a client, right? So then there's that life cycle, and I don't want to go too deep there. But then now that they become a past client, so how do you keep in touch with your past clients, right? 87% of the people use a different agent on the second transaction. What if I could alter that to 50%? What if I can keep a 50% capture rate, right? Well, when you start selling 700 deals, that's 350 more deals in the future.
And I didn't mean to put you on the spot by getting into the weeds,
Okay.
but anybody that's watching this, I want them to know that you're not the typical agent. You're somebody who has taken business to another level, sophistication, right, tracked it front, middle, and on the back end. And so I'm going to pivot a little bit. You've been around. You've been a couple different companies. You and I were at the Big Balloon Company, and
right,
anything that we're going to say here has nothing to do with the people or our experiences there. They got us to where we are.
That's
but
right.
You've recently come on board with eXp within the last 6 months.
That's correct.
Why would somebody with your experience, your expertise, position yourself and your team for the future with eXp Realty?
Right. That's a great question, and I know, having worked with you to come here, you know a little bit about this, but to share, I definitely did the Big Balloon, and then I put on the Yellow Jacket. Two great companies, great people. Having what I feel like is a forward-thinking mindset, I also, made a decision in about 2014 that I wanted higher level tools and techniques, but I also wanted a certain culture. I wanted a certain ability to expand and grow. And I felt like the training, I wasn't getting all the training that I really wanted. And in order for me to get some of the training, I have 2 business coaches. So, that's because I couldn't get the type of training that I wanted. It was the same classes over and over. So it was so many different layers. When I left one of them, I was looking for culture and things, and I keep this, another prop that I keep around me. It's pretty beat up, but I kind of wrote down my dreams and thoughts, and I really wanted to when I left the first time, I said, well, there's a certain culture I want to have some training, I want to have support, I want to have charity, I want to be around some people, and I want to have more advanced tools. So I left. Then I found out that the tools weren't as advanced as I was looking for. And then I wanted to, I was already trying to grow a team. So in order to grow a team, there's a certain structure and there's certain residual effects that happen, right? And when I'm in a brokerage, some of them support teams and some of them aren't really designed to support teams. So it was like, how do I build a sellable, scalable business? When you go into business from an entrepreneurial mindset, what's your exit strategy, right? What am I in here for? Am I going to do the daily grind every single month and start out as zero? So I took a big step back and said, what am I doing here? 2015, what are my dreams and goals? So this piece of paper, which is something that was in my Evernote, and I printed it and I share it. I was just sharing it with somebody that I was interviewing yesterday. It's the values, the career path, the financial structure. These are the topics, the culture. I found that in each piece, but then I couldn't find a corporate-like atmosphere that allowed for the exit strategy to be further. So, in order for me to really stay current with the market, I needed a company that was forward-thinking, that could create leverage and automation that would help me along the way. So I just couldn't get that in the last couple of places.
It's funny you mentioned that. You were thinking ahead and thinking to the future. When I saw this model, I was happy. I was content where I was at. I thought I'm at 100%. I was grandfathered in. This is great. But it wasn't until somebody started asking me questions like, do you own any part of the brokerage? What is a real exit strategy that you have? Is there any revenue sharing with that?
That's right.
And
Yeah.
I thought, wow, that's very different.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this company truly unique. So anyways, I didn't mean to step on your toes, but
no, I mean, it's and to parlay on that, that's where I got to be. Like, I was like, am I going to make my own brokerage? Which quite honestly, I really didn't want to. But I wrote this because I thought that needed to be my path, right? Because the tools and the techniques, the things that I was trying to do were so advanced, with conversion, which the eXp has. I had Kelly, my marketing coordinator, read the conversion code, which is with the C, conversion code, before conversion was built. And so it just laid into that. But to that point, my personal goals were, how do I create residual income, right? How do I build something that's sellable and scalable? How do I do all of this without taking on the world? How do I have my dreams of living near palm trees and still have a business here? And then how do I grow a team? And then when they become successful, if they want to grow their own team, that I'm out, if you will. So there was all these pieces that eXp kind of filled the slots that I started thinking, they did a podcast with me about how to build a sellable, scalable business. But that was a lot of the baseline and the processes. But then how do you build the processes of me, meaning how do I get the stock? How can I give back? How can I move from state to state and not have to start over? That's huge.
I often tell people when I'm trying to explain, and if you're watching this, you've never heard of eXp, I'm surprised because we're the fastest growing brokerage in the country. I think grew at over 171% last year. That eXp is almost like a business in a box. And it's agent centric, not broker centric. We're not a franchise. We're a publicly traded company. And so when you, as an individual agent, like yourself as a team, maybe you want to span multiple markets, or maybe you're a boutique brokerage looking to transfer your brokerage, this company somehow morphs and benefits you. Would you say that's correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's, I was interviewing two people yesterday, one of which, is an agent. And I said, listen, it doesn't matter to me. It matters to me and what I'm looking for. But in this model here, in the way that it's structured, I can help people's dreams come true and it benefits everybody, right? From, you want to be an individual agent and do 5 deals a year, 10, 12, 100? Do you want to grow a team? Do you want to stay solo? Do you want to know even more about how to do a SEP program combined with the stock program? I, in my 15 years in software, worked for 2 companies that were employee owned. A lot of people have heard of SAIC, and they eventually sold out to Leidos. Well, that stock program, that stock that I just kept getting when I was a young lady and didn't have, extra money to save, that stock that kept building up helped buy my first house. And then, so how do I not, an agent, my daughter is an agent on my team, how do I not bring this opportunity to her, right? How do I not, I would feel terrible. And if they pulled them in here right now, her and Kelly's basically, she's family to us. I told them, like, you have to understand what's happening here. Then the other company, it's called Web Methods. You can look me up on LinkedIn. It's all there. They're the largest IPO of that era. And we helped build that company. And it's exciting when you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself, right? And when I went to the shareholders conference, I could see that even further. You could feel the culture, you could feel the commitment, you could feel the growth. But to bring it back to home, it was the same thing where it's like, how do I help you learn about investing in yourself, or, bringing your best friends and having them here and sharing this ability. And then they're going to have access to the best tools, the best technologies. And then, if you want to come on as an individual agent, if you want to come on as a team, just the long-term snowball effect will have, to me, a dramatic impact on my personal life and my ability to retire. And that's not anything that any of the other brokerages could ever provide me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And again, for those that are watching this, eXp, what makes them so different? We are not a franchise. We're a publicly traded company, and we don't have brick and mortar offices. Most of our agents are, according to the National Association of Realtors, most top producers never go into the office anyways. We utilize Regus offices if you need an office, which are 3,000 of them across the country. But because of that, we're able to provide unbelievable tools. Everybody gets a conversion website, which, as somebody who's very tech savvy, understanding drip campaigns and texting and follow up, it's, in my opinion, the Ferrari of websites for agents. Right. Yep. You're able to earn stock and buy stock in the company and earn equity, and we have revenue sharing. So if I introduce somebody to the company and they sell, I get a percentage of their gross commission, even into retirement. That is mind-blowing. I never had that in my previous brokerage.
Right. Yeah. And it's huge, and again, as a team leader and a person who enjoys coaching, I want somebody to be successful. My mindset shift, the paradigm shift, whatever the right words are there, if you come in and work with me for a year, or you come in as an individual, you can't go to your other office and say, hey, will you help me build my business? Other agents aren't going to do that. Or, hey, can you show me how to make my site better? Other agents aren't going to do that. But the mindset of, wait a minute, if you're successful, I'm successful, is the culture that is in my dreams. That's a career path for everybody. Financial structure that allows people to reach results, as well as creating loyalty, financial stability, and incentives for their hard work. It's right here. So these are the things that obviously Glenn is very similar, or he wouldn't have created this kind of company. And so when an agent comes in and they're doing well after a year, and again, I'm speaking as a team leader now, but you don't have to be on a team, but and they say, I want to grow my team now. That's awesome. Let me help you attract more people into your team, because I'm financially rewarded, no different than if a broker had a recruiter working on their staff. You know what I mean? So that I'm being rewarded for my time and contribution to making that agent more successful. And then that, is a long-term growth and career path for people that constantly keeps mentors and people that are looking out for them.
Well, and it's better for the agent as well, because like you said, I had a team in the past. I had 5 agents, and you teach them all your tricks and you teach them your processes, and then they leave. and there's a disconnect. You're not there to support them anymore. They're doing their own thing, and there isn't that interaction. But here at eXp, it's very different, where if I have somebody on my team and they're part of my team, but they decide that they want to spread their wings and go, you're staying in their life and helping them and mentoring them if they want it.
That's right.
The entire time that they're in real estate, which is a true connection.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you know, and then Amy, who is a friend and a colleague who has joined eXp, you know, she was just here in the office. You know, she comes in, she asks my team for some help on some stuff. You know, she wants to do an event. We're going to support her. We're going to help do some marketing with her. That never existed before. It was like, don't look at my stuff. You know what I mean? And how you doing it? And it was almost like there was like jealous, isn't it, human experience. So that I can get there. Like the whole mindset shift is more of gratitude, positivity, and promoting other people's success. And that's when I talk about the culture. That's what I'm talking about. You know, not the Christmas parties and all that, which are great, but it's running a business. How can we make each other successful and have fun in a positive, supportive way?
You mentioned
and
something.
I think the structure of it is good, you know, and then you combine that with the technology and the tools. It's amazing.
Yeah, you mentioned the shareholders meeting. For those of you who don't know, all the agents, you know, when you sell something, you get shares of stock or you can buy stock, and you can go to the shareholders meeting and hear everything about the company. And you hit upon this. I've been. This is my 20th year in real estate. I've been to lots of real estate conventions, and they're fun, and there's parties, and you learn stuff. But there's something unique about going to the eXp conventions.
Right.
Is that we have a connection here. I have hundreds of agents that are in my, you know, you call it your downline, but I call it part of my team that I really have a vested interest in. I want them to, I think Kim cut out there, that you really want to help them out. You really want to help them with their business. And we all have this common goal. We're not this franchise and that franchise. We actually are all part of the same team, which is truly, truly unique. Hey, we lost you there for a second.
I'm back.
Yeah. I was just talking about the cohesiveness of us being an agent-owned company as opposed to franchises and walls. It's just a little different feeling.
Yeah, I have to say it was really special, and you witnessed that, David. You know, I almost couldn't go to the shareholder conference, as you know, for my own health stuff. So I made it, and I was really, it was really special because you know, I'm connected across the country with some great agents, between a lot of charity big events that we threw when I was selling all the Banco homes, and then the Tom Ferry coaching and other coaching that I've been a part of, Mike Ferry, the different brokerages that
Can we mention that you're going to be on Tom Ferry's panel in a couple weeks?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
So if you're tuning in, it's going to be on the panel. What are you going to be talking about? I didn't mean to interrupt, but.
Yeah, no, it's basically sharing this hybrid marketing program that I've developed, and I'm really excited because it's proven itself, and I'm going to share how to combine traditional and technology, and the results that we're seeing, which you know, has put hundreds of thousands of dollars in my pocket more just in the last few years.
That's awesome. So if you see her at the Tom Ferry event, go up and say hi to Kim.
Yeah,
anyways, as you were saying.
Thank you. Yeah. So, you know, it's hard for me to stay connected with these great agents. You know, again, in the region, people are competitive. They didn't have a lot of big, you know, people that think similarly either way. When I went there, and I saw some of my friends, and then someone were laughing. Like, I can't believe you didn't tell me about this sooner. But these are genuine people that, you know, like I said, that we shared big charity events with, that are forward thinkers, and they're the innovators of the things that are presented at the Tom Ferry events. And these are the colleagues that I have that have joined eXp, and it's really awesome. I get to reconnect with them, and it was very validating that I already knew that I made the right decision for me, but it's very validating that everybody else is feeling the same way. So now I get to see them again, but also I can use like the enterprise software, and we can create masterminds. And with our and you could talk more about, but the eXp world, where we can go into our virtual, auditoriums and workspaces and collaborate with some of these agents that are amazing people.
Yeah, and
So it's nice.
we can sit here and go on and on about all the wonderful things that this company is doing. I mean, it's funny because there's a lot of other brokerages saying, "Oh, we're going to be doing this in the future. We're going to be doing this," and eXp has been doing this stuff for years now.
Years.
I remember the very first time when I joined. This is 7 years ago. Went up to the Inman conference up in New York, and all the booths that were sitting around with all the latest technology and tools and processes and all the speakers, almost 95% of that eXp was already doing. And I thought, wow, I'm really with the right company,
Right.
technology wise and training wise.
Yeah. I mean, and fundamentally, like you said, we could talk about, okay, Kim was excited about a conference and she's excited about all this, but it also goes back to, the fact that the leader of the company is thinking about what's the exit strategy for an agent because he was an agent, right? And when you have that, the companies that I was mentioning, they were employee-owned companies as well. And if you've never worked with an employee-owned company, there's a definite different approach to the culture, and how that is seen is in the financial structures, the advanced technologies, the transparency within the eXp world, which is the virtual stuff that you could talk about, and the training that's being provided. It's just all next level, because when, in my experience that I'm experiencing here and there, is just, when you have this top level group of people, it's what's good for them, and that, yeah, okay, this is good for the agents, but really it's what's good for them. I mean, let's face it, we could be nice, we could be happy, but is that going to help me with my retirement, with my longevity? And anybody that's an entrepreneur should be thinking about, like, when you build a restaurant, the idea is usually you sell it one day. When you build a brand or a store, the idea is you sell it one day. It's very difficult to sell a business, but when you're going to do it, you need to have solid things. And if you can't do that, this residual income with the best technologies and the best support is just something that I haven't seen anywhere.
Yeah, it's funny when I talk to other agents at other brokerages, they say, I just want to focus in on my business. And I say, great, that's what we do. That's all we do. But we happen to have a second and third rail of income. One is right now, for a period of time, when you sell something, you cap, you introduce somebody to the company, eXp is giving stock to those agents, just giving it. It's like almost free money. It is. And then there's a direct purchase program where you can buy stock at a discount. Again, I didn't have this at my previous brokerage.
Right, that's right.
And then before, where I was at before, if I introduced somebody to the company, maybe I got a Starbucks card.
Yeah.
Here, I actually get revenue every year that person's in the business and selling.
Right.
And so I always pose the question to somebody, great, in 5 years or 10 years, when you're done selling real estate, are you getting paid by your brokerage?
Right.
I am.
Yeah.
And I will.
Exactly.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. And then, again, whether you're an individual agent or a team leader, when you would introduce somebody in there, whether it's a Starbucks card, in my case, well, they came on as your team, so I train them, I do whatever, and then they say, I want to go on my own. I get nothing, like not even the Starbucks card, and that's really a challenge, because anybody that's doing a certain amount, it's not uncommon to have an assistant who says, you know what, I think you've motivated me. I see how well you're doing. I'd love to become a licensed assistant for you, and it's just a natural progression. But how will that pay off for you long term? And then and if you are an individual agent, somebody else, some other thing, like when I was offered these other websites, which is cool, but if you leave, or even if you don't want to leave, like you don't have control as much of these sites and what you do on it. And then to have them be able to generate business or create ads that match what you want, or let's say internet's not your thing, open houses is, it's so easy. The tools are so easy, and they're financially affordable here. So, and then to have people like myself who can help you along with all the tools and technologies that they have there. I mean, it really, if you can add business, you can save on the bottom line. I just think that there's so many different businesses, and then, everybody on my team is taking advantage of the 5%. So, taking 5% of our commission to buy the stock at 20% discount. I mean,
it's free money,
right? If I can take $10,000 and turn it into here, like why wouldn't you do that? 20% ROI is good.
My wife worked at ExxonMobil for a number of years, and she had company stock, and it's parlayed into a very nice 401k for her. Most 99.9% of brokerages don't offer anything of this nature.
Right.
That's what separates eXp. Publicly traded, revenue sharing, killer websites. This website in itself is $750 a month, I think.
Right.
Every agent gets it for their small $50 a month tech fee. So
yeah. And the tech support to help you get started, or to be able to go on tech support also and say, hey, my Google stuff isn't working right. Can you help me? And get an answer within a minute. Pretty much any time of day. To see what's going on in my business and a quick dashboard, like all of those things to me are important. But also then, with the 20 trainings a week that are available, versus one training a week for an hour on a fixed schedule with whatever training that trainer is exposed to, they're rotating icon agents. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but to connect with other icon agents, which are $20 million producers, is huge, because most brokerages don't have access to these people. And even, for myself to connect with them is big. And that's a requirement for me to give back. So all of these things together, I just think, make a ton of sense, right?
If you're out there and you're doing 20 million in production, we want to talk to you about, Kim wants to talk to you about the Icon Agent program, where basically the company pays you in company stock what your cap is for doing your business, which is incredible. It's generating people like yourself and others across the country that are top producers in their market to come over.
Right. That's right. Yeah. And again, and not to say that there was anything, in the past, but like, for the future, I like to give back, but to feel rewarded, it adds a level of commitment and contribution. But it also, motivates people to say, hey, let's make everybody else successful too. And nobody's ever offered me anything like that before. And, we only have so much time in the day. So it's very respectful that they take, because we're also helping all the people. We have to have a team to produce that kind of revenue, right? So it's kind of to me, I look at it as a nice reward for helping make other people within the company successful, which, if you look at a corporate structure, right, you kind of, that middle management, right, it's just a nice way to make it all come full circle and create loyalty.
Well, I'm going to bang your drum here for a second, but I think that if you're watching this, it really, eXp is growing very quickly across the country. I think we're in 47, 48 states, and everybody is talking about coming on board. But I think it's really worth your time and due diligence to find somebody that you can actually have as a sponsor, somebody who introduces you to the company who is very successful as an agent, but also has that entrepreneurial mind. And I know that, hey, if the roles were reversed and I was looking at coming on board, you would be one of the first people that I would seek out because you
Thank
have
you.
a proven track record with your business and you understand this business model and want to help those that you're bringing on.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's important to me, you know, and again, I can keep going back to the fundamental beliefs that we have, which is, you know, I find joy in making other people successful if that's what they want, you know. And there's different ways that that's going to work for different people. You know, when it comes to real estate, it could be open houses, sphere, calls, door knocking, whatever it is, it's handled. But then the long-term picture, how are you going to retire? You know, how are you going to be motivated to work hard, but then to bring maybe you know, I like to work with my friends. I don't know about you, but how, you know, like I feel guilty. I felt guilty if I didn't come here because I know the future and the forward thinking. I use it as the Netflix example, which
Yeah.
I know you use a lot too. You know, you didn't hear of Netflix before, but you do now, right? You didn't maybe not hear of eXp Realty, but you did now. And you know, to watch the stock growth, you know, it's huge. So there's the immediate business, and then there's the bigger picture of why am I in here running my own business? You know, no matter what level or scale you're at. You know,
You
how do
hit
I
on the
find the
head.
people that want to help me? Yeah.
You're having fun. You're running your own business, not just real estate business, but a business that has stock and revenue share and mentoring and training that you cannot get at any other brokerage. If you're
Yes.
watching this, you owe it to yourself to check it out. It's what does it harm you? It can harm you a lot by not learning about this company. I know that there's been
Yeah.
over the 7 years that I've been here, I can't tell you how many people have come back to me saying, "Why didn't you tell me about this earlier?"
Yeah. I'm thinking the same thing. And that's quite frankly what my colleagues out in Vegas at the shareholders conference. They're like, I can't believe you didn't call me. Well, you and I know that you know, I had some health things that really kept me down. I mean, I was running. You know, we're at 26 million outside gross already. You know, so I was focused on what's going to pay my bills, but I would have loved to have called them because you know now they're not you know in my agent attraction pool, but we're still colleagues and we're still helping each other. You know what I mean? That doesn't matter. But it is that. It's like I wish I would have known, you know, sooner. And you know, I'm here now, and so I'm excited.
We are at 10,000 agents, and I was here when we started.
Wow.
We had 300 agents in a handful of states. We are, I mean, I can't give projections, but it's 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 exploding, but we have a long ways to go. So I would say that if you're watching this, you're an agent, you're a broker, you own your own brokerage, and you want to find out more. What is the website that we want to send them to?
So obviously the www, which my internet person hates saying that, but
Right.
but it's bestagentmodel.com. Right?
Bestagentmodel.com. They can fill that out. They can contact you directly. They can private Facebook page you, and you'll put your contact information wherever this is being posted. And this will be up for a while, but I've enjoyed our time together, and I'm looking forward to the next year, next couple of years. As you know, we've already done charity events together in just a very
That's right.
short amount of time.
Yeah,
We
super excited
collaborate
about
on
that.
other things. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah.
do you have
And that's
anything
the other thing.
here?
Okay. I was just going to say that's the other thing is that, you know, not having the brick and mortar maybe intimidates people. As a team, quite honestly, I wanted to have some office space that I could never get. And the financial structure here allows me to do that, especially as an icon agent, getting it back. But, you know, working with ourselves here, you know, doing the charity event, the big Dance of Palooza party that we did for the community, the charity, you know, the ugly sweater party, you know, getting together for happy hours. I mean, we still have the connection, right? And like you said, when I worked at the other offices, nobody would come in. You know, I've seen more people working here than I did at the other places. So that's a good thing.
We like to have fun. We like to do
Right.
things. We like to work
That's right.
with charity and community and stuff. So we're going to do these periodically and keep people up to date. But Kim, uh, super excited to be working with you. Kim is one of our, obviously top agents in the Washington metro area, but top agents with the company. And if you want to find out more about how to be successful in business, how to find out more about this brokerage, give my friend Kim Barber a call.
Yeah. Yeah. So phone number. Yeah.
That's up to you. I don't.
Well, they can call because Kelly, Christine, myself. Also because some people, classic phone call. My number is 703-338-0872 and team@kimbarbergroup.com. So
and we'll put
find
that
us.
in all the social media sites and stuff. But
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I'd be a
this was
bad marketing
awesome.
person if I didn't say that.
Yeah. Well, hey, here we are coming up into the 45-minute mark. I think we've said
Yes,
enough to wet that whistle, and
exactly.
we're looking forward. You're going to be at Tom Ferry. Then we're also going to have a eXp Explained luncheon in Northern Virginia, so you can call Kim about that. And then we've got another one in Arlington coming up the third week of May. So if you're local, contact us about those.
That's right. Perfect.
All right.
Thanks, David.
Peace out. Have
Peace
a great day, guys.
All right.
eXp proud.
Okay.